It's March. And you know, March overall, it's just a great month. The weather's starting to get warmer, there's St. Patrick's Day on the 17th, and there's my birthday on the 22nd. But as baseball fans know it, March is the return of the Major League Baseball season. And since I've been talking about expansion for the last little while on this channel, I figured that in this video I'd talk a bit about a city that, in my opinion, could potentially be a good MLB city. And that city is none other than Vancouver, British Columbia, which you probably already knew by reading the title. Some of you may be wondering why I'm giving Vancouver its own dedicated video. Well, when I made my MLB expansion concept video in early 2022, it had not yet been announced that the Oakland A's would be moving to Las Vegas. Although at the time everyone was speculating that that would happen, and I honestly should have foreseen that that was going to be announced in the near future, and I should have put Vancouver in that video instead of Las Vegas, but I'm making up for that now. But anyways, let's get into it. First things first, where should we put the stadium? Vancouver's already pretty dense by North American standards, so there's not really a whole lot of room to work with. But I wouldn't be making this video at all if I didn't at least think there was a potential location, and the location I decided on was none other than the Hastings Racecourse. Now you might be thinking,
But Charlie, the Hastings Racecourse is still in use.
yeah, I know that, but should the racecourse ever fall under hard times or be forced to close or whatever, then this would be the place to build a baseball stadium. I mean, look at these views, man. You think PNC Park has nice views? Just look at this. I'm imagining a stadium with a retractable roof that's maybe open at the outfield so people can see out. That would be spectacular. And if I'm being honest, this is probably like the main reason I even want a team in Vancouver to begin with. But it's not the only reason. Obviously, there would be the potential rivalry with the Mariners just down the I-5. And rivalry games between Vancouver and Seattle are always fun. Whenever the Whitecaps and Sounders face off, it's a must-watch. And although the rivalry between the Canucks and Kraken hasn't reached its full potential yet, I imagine when it does, it'll be peak hockey. Also, there would be the cross-country rivalry with the Blue Jays. You can't tell me that wouldn't be fun. Now, there is the question, is it even worth trying to put an MLB team in Vancouver? Personally, I think so. I wouldn't expect those of you who don't live in BC to know this, but there's a surprising amount of interest in baseball here. I'm sure that if there was an expansion team here, the city would rally around them quickly. Yeah, of course, there are other cities like Nashville, Charlotte, and Montreal that deserve a team as well, but I don't think Vancouver should be overlooked. Maybe there's some proximity bias on my part, but I don't think it's completely baseless. There are 2.8 million people living in Metro Vancouver, and even more than that living in nearby communities like Vancouver Island, so it's no small place by any means. I will admit, other teams in the city like the Lions and Whitecaps have had some attendance issues from time to time, but despite that, they've still managed to maintain consistent support, even if the building they play in isn't always full. And let's be real, it's not like all the existing MLB teams sell out all their games. But I will admit, the lack of a stadium is a bit of a problem. If the stars aligned and Vancouver ended up getting a baseball team, then what might happen is they end up building a stadium out in the burbs, which would be suboptimal. Or who knows, maybe they'd try to forcefully fit baseball into BC Place. Wouldn't be the weirdest place that's hosted baseball. But yeah, to sum it all up, aside from the issue of a potential stadium, I think Vancouver would be a great place for a new MLB team. Canada as a whole is still largely uncharted territory for the league, and I think that should change because I genuinely believe that there are 2 or 3 cities in Canada that don't already have teams that could support one. Montreal gets talked about for good reason, but I think Vancouver deserves to be in the conversation as well. I don't know if maybe this idea is far-fetched, but let me know, do you guys think Vancouver should get an MLB team? And if not, which cities do you think should? Let me know in the comments. I'm gonna end this video here. Thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.